Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we are doing one of my favourite things that we get to do once a year, and that is flip through my new setups for the next year. So this is the 2024 reading journal setup and lineup flip through. If you're new here, I don't share the actual process of setting them up just because I find that a lot of pressure. I'm trying to find my way through, and especially when my main journal this year is substantially bigger than I'm used to, I really needed that time to just figure it all out and do it off camera. However, I do a flip through and explain everything that we've got going in these pages. So we're going to go with this one first, the most exciting one. This is just my reading stats one. Put that one off to the side and talk about that one later. But this one is my main journal for the year. It is a notebook therapy B5 size journal. I will link the one that I've gotten below and everything else in the comments, in the description. If you need to know anything, leave me a comment and I will see where to find it for you. But this is a gorgeous journal. I do have my box opening for this journal up on the channel. I'll link that below as well. Flipping on in. It's going to be really challenging for me to get used to filming such a big book. There we go, we've got our first page. Now I don't normally set this page up at all. I normally stick it together and then move on to the first page. However, I wanted to try and do sort of like a introduction before I show you what's happening on the next page. And for this year's theme, I am going with a bit of an adventure, and that is why it says 2024 adventure awaits. I did manage to keep this little honeybee edition stuff here. I thought it was quite cute, stuck in my handle here, shelves of books, and then I put in a quote from one of my favourite books ever, and it says, "One doesn't need magic if one knows enough stories." And that kind of leads us into the fact that this is going to be a year-long theme. I'm going to be taking you all to 12 different fantasy locations. I'm so excited for this journal, and it's a big endeavour for me to try and keep this for an entire year. I hope we can pull it off, but for now let's flip over into what I think is the most fascinating page I've ever set up, in a way that I really love how it's come together. It's beautiful, it just looks aesthetically pleasing. It took a long time. I'm not gonna lie, it took quite a lot of patience. My hand was severely bruised afterwards from holding the pen, but it was worth it because this looks fantastic. This map is actually not my own creation. It was something that I downloaded and purchased from Jashi Koren. I will leave that linked below as well, but it covers all the cute little tropes and just little giggles that we have as readers. So we've got things like awkward love triangle and sands of time jump and plot twist, and we've got down here, where is it, the enemy's ridge and cozy cove, age gap. I just think it's all really funny. Some of the little titles are just really hilarious to me, and it covers a lot of the things that I really enjoy about reading, and I just think this was really cleverly put together, so I had to put it in, especially since this year's theme is travel and adventures. So very happy that I took the time to do this. Very tedious though, and if you do get the PDF of this map, just print it out. It'll take you a lot less time. Flipping over into my usual setup that comes right at the front of the book, we have my GoodReads challenge. This year, my GoodReads challenge, I'm filming this in 2023 by the way, it was 150 books, and I'm going to go for the same amount again. I have gone further than that because 150 is here. I've gone to 165, and that is simply because I know that I'm probably going to read over my quota. I always do, so I just like to be ahead of myself, but my official goal is 150. I might put like a little black ring around that to just highlight that a little bit further. Something new for the year ahead is a social media growth tracker for both Instagram and YouTube. Now, by all means, I don't think it is healthy to track these in a way that you want to like improve yourself and get focused on numbers, because I don't think that's really beneficial for anyone. I just post because I enjoy that and I want to keep that kind of momentum. However, it is interesting from a stats point of view, and that is the only reason why I've put this here. Also, I kind of didn't really know what to do with the rest of this page. Since this is a B5 notebook journal, a lot of spreads are different to me than usual because this would have taken 2 pages in an A5, so I had to figure out what I was going to put down here. I've left my key for this portion blank right now because I don't really know what my color code system is going to be for 2024 yet. I'm toying with the idea of doing really like natural colors to match with the colors that I've chosen already. By the way, this font that I'm using I will have linked below as well. I absolutely love this font. It's called Mediterranean. I think that's what it's called off the top of my head. I think I called it Mediterranean last time, but it's not that. And it's just beautiful. It makes me think of like old school fairy tale books, maybe Lord of the Rings a little bit. It's just really, really fun. And so I had to use it, and it really goes well with green. So I've kept this theme throughout. Flipping on over, we've got my bookshelfie. I normally call this my bookshelf, but everyone's calling it bookshelfie this year, so I'm keeping up with the trend. I have gone ahead and made 2 ginormous bookshelves. These fit on each one 75 books, I believe. So there is 150 on this page, which just feels so good to say because I just really think it's cool if you could just see it all at once. So instead of going across like I was in this year, because in my current journal it's very, very small and basic. I don't have really any decoration at all. I've gone across, but that worked really well for this setup. I've decided for 2024 I'm going to, oh, that came out of my journal, go 1 bookshelf at a time. I think that would be really fun. I've also gone and put up here in the top portions of the bookcase a C and an L because I thought that was really cute. Shell's Library. I don't know, I just wanted to fill the gap in and I didn't think I could draw something, so I just went with really pretty Celtic font that I found on Canva and just sort of winged myself. I put another C up on this one. This is my extra shelf. I actually haven't counted how many spaces there are on here, but that will be what I will use when I run over the 150 if I do. Also forgot to mention that I'm going to do things slightly different. Let me get this again. In this journal here, I have simply just done lines, and I've put the initial for each month at the top. It kind of gets messy along the way. I mean, it's what I've done for the last 2 years, but I thought instead that I would do numbers at the bottom, the month at the top, and then the title somewhere in between. I'm not sure how that's going to look, but I wanted to give it a different go this year. And so that's what we're going to do. Hopefully it'll work out really nicely. Back to this page like I had opened before. Like I mentioned, I don't know how many there's here. I think there's 6 across, so someone who can do math quicker off the top of their head than me would be fantastic, but this will help me if I go over. We've got a poster on the wall here with the star rating key code. I'm toying between the idea of going the same colours that I used over 2023, but like a darker, more muted tone rather than the brighter colours, or I'm going to go 5 different colours. Is it 5? 1? No, it won't be 5. essentially if this one was blue, then this would be blue as well, but a different shade. I wanted to keep them in the same family. That's something that I'm trying to decide, and if I do that, then it will be more earth tones just to match with the book aesthetic. I've got a little couch down here that's not to scale at all with the bookshelf, and I stuck in a little cushion saying shelves of books here. I think it's really, really cute. Over here we have the Days Read Pixel. If you've followed me long enough, you know that I absolutely adore this page. I love seeing the trends come together and seeing what days each month I read the same sort of type of book level. Normally I just do book amount, so we've got space here like usual for 1 book, 2 books, 3+ books, or did not read, and then I've added this one in. I want to track what I read in format as well, so we've got physical, audiobook, ebook, and mixed, and I'm going to, if I read more than one type of format, break the box in half and put them in like that. If I read 3, I'm just going to do whatever I feel is the first or the most important ones, but generally I read a lot of audiobooks and ebooks, so that would be where I would end up using those colours on the same day. Flipping over, we have some more challenges. We have Read the Rainbow, which was one that I introduced last year and I really enjoyed. Each colour represents what colour type of book, so if I read a purple covered book, I could stick it here. And then I've introduced a new type of challenge for 2024. 2 challenges were removed. I'm not doing the A to Z challenge as I have for the past 2 years, and I'm also not doing the 24 books before 2024. I hate that challenge. I've decided that it's just not for me. I feel a lot of pressure from that challenge, and it's just, I always like to complete things. So right now I'm scrambling to finish my 23 books in 2023, and I'm not enjoying myself, so I have taken it out, and instead I'm going to go 24 tropes. And so I've got a list of some romance and some fantasy ones along here, and generally I read all of these at some point, so it'll be really easy to fill this one in. I think my plan for 2024 is not to pressure myself so hard and just make the challenges really fun and simple. So we've got things like Enemies to Lovers, Fake Dating, Slow Burn, Forbidden Love, Second Chance, Reluctant Hero, Alpha Hero, things like that. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying out a new type of challenge. Again, with some more challenges. I really like this page. It's one of my favorites. I'm sorry about the shadows. Maybe I should have turned on the light. I'm not sure. But we've got a reading bingo. Again, this was supplied by Jashi Koren. I will link that below. And I have just got space down here for all of the bingo boards, and then we can just put the books down here. Here is my one yearly readathon. I was going to participate in a couple others, but decided to keep it really simple. This one is the Buzzwordathon. I will link the video down below also for this. I cannot remember off the top of my head who runs it. It's my first time participating. I do believe you can sign up on GoodReads, I'm not sure, but I signed up on the Storygraph for the reading challenge. And each month you have to read just one book with whatever the prompt is. So for instance, we've got for February positive happy words. For July we've got measurement words. For November just something that's got the word only in it. So it's very self-explanatory, quite easy I think to fulfill in some ways. This one here is very new to me. It is the Kindle Takedown, and last year I did a TBR book of the month. Let me grab that for you all. And it was really fun. Admittedly, a couple of books I have been behind in or I haven't finished. August is still not finished and I won't be finishing it in 2023. But overall, I've really enjoyed myself. This one is finished. I can mark that off. I only DNF'd 2 books, but this helped me get through at least 12 books on my physical TBR. My physical TBR isn't too badly out of control going into 2024, which sounds weird, but it is what it is. And however, my Kindle is an absolute state, and so I've decided to do the Kindle Takedown. This is something that I've come up with. Essentially, I have a spreadsheet already with all the books that are on my Kindle written out, and they're numbered, and whatever number the number generator lands on is what the book for each month will be. And I haven't written them down, I haven't gone ahead of myself and put them all in like I did at the start of 2023, and that is because I feel like a lot of the books that are on my Kindle have come from Stuff Your Kindle days, and I'm not saying anything negative about it, but I do find that if I pick up a book and I'm not enjoying it, I'm most likely going to DNF it. So I'd rather put down the books that I do attempt to read in this. I know it's a really small box, maybe I could do the acronyms for them, but say if I try to read 3 different books, or I finish one and I decide to carry on with this, I can put them in here. That's sort of my plan. I've never tried this before, so we'll see how it goes when we actually get into using it. And then I think this is the last setup page. Let me see. No, we're not. This is the monthly destinations. Like I mentioned, we're going to be traveling through 12 different fantasy worlds in this year, and I'm going to put I'm not sure if I'm going to put the cover or the sort of concept here, but we will fill this in. It'll be a visual guide. I'm absolutely looking forward to it. It's going to be wonderful. And then on this side here, we've got the book club reads. I do belong to 2 book clubs, perhaps a third, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure how active I'm going to be in book clubs over 2024, if I'm honest. 2023 was the year where I was trying to read every single book club read, even if I felt like it wasn't going to be for me. And in some cases I was pleasantly surprised, and then in other cases I really didn't enjoy myself, and I spent a great deal on books that I wouldn't normally have purchased for myself. So I think what I'm going to be doing is just picking the ones that I feel like I would definitely read or want to give a try, and try and save some money, because I did spend an exceptional amount on books over 2023, and I'm aware that my bookcases, whilst they have some room, there's not heaps. So rather than doing book club, I'm going to try and use my library resources as much as possible for these reads. If I cannot get my hands on them, then I won't be reading them until I can through the library. So I might be a couple of months behind, but at least I have a spot here to write down what each month is. And the final page for this setup is the top 24 reads of 2024. It would help if I read these things. So I've got 24 spots here for the top 24 reads. This is something that I do at the end of the year, but I like to have it at the front so I can have it all wrapped up and in a nice safe spot. It also means that it's already ready to go, and I find that when you get to the end of the books, like this one here is really chunky now, it would be really challenging for me to sit down and map this out and it not be crooked or something like that. So at the front of the book it goes. Really happy with it being here. Again, filling up the space with a lot of different things like paper or washi tape. This washi tape set was fantastic. I will link it below. It's from a local shop here, and I really like the aesthetic. There's this one, and then there's also this one here as well. And for a sneak peek, I haven't set up January yet, but this is what we're going to kind of have as the setup themes. So we've got Destination 1. It's very obvious what this is going to be. Survive the Parapet. We've got my really amazing drawing skills here. Yeah, don't expect much. I cannot draw. I did this all freehand and I'm not very pleased with it, but it's better than just doing the same old every time, every month. So we're going to have a little like a sneak peek page that I hope to set up before I set up each month. Over here we'll have the cover page for January. Obviously it's very, I keep saying obviously, but it is very obvious what this theme is going to be. It's going to be, we're going to a war college, and I'm looking really forward to doing this. Now I want to point out that this won't be like I have in these ones. So I have been using each month to be a theme of a book. So let's just go to March here. This was These Violence Delight, and I went more with vibes rather than location, and I'm going to still have little moments where there's vibe pictures as opposed to like a location or a destination, but I really want to focus more on the world aspect. So expect more of architecture and sort of the vibe that I get from being inside that world. I don't want us to be traveling to the people so much, but to the actual destination. So that is what we'll be doing. I'm going to be setting up January in the next day or two. I'm exceptionally late on this, but I've only just set this all up, so please bear with me. January will be posted in January, but I'm really excited. This theme is going to be really like quite a big project for me to take on. I've enlisted a friend who's exceptionally good at looking at Pinterest, and she is very much so helping me with the aesthetic vibes and finding the things that we need to make this work. So I will be definitely crediting her when we get to that point, but until then, let's close this journal up because we're done looking at it. There's nothing else in here. The only thing I have to do now is make a ruler. I have this one here that has traveled through many a journal, but as you can see, it's not big enough. So I'm gonna have to make one from the back pages of this, and then we're good to use this for 2024. Looking inside the reading data journal, I'm going to be continuing with a lot of the setups that I previously set up in 2023, simply because I did it with the intention of having to set up for more than 1 year. This was always the goal, to use this journal for that purpose. So we're going to go through this together real quickly for what's continuing and what's not. So this page here I'm scrapping. It was really pointless to put it together. I thought it would house a lot more insight and data for me, but I don't really utilize it at all, so I won't be continuing this in 2024 in that format. I have gone ahead and created a new DNF page for 2024 simply because I can't imagine this being enough space, and I didn't think ahead that I would DNF that many books. I also had the intention of only doing one line per book, so I thought this would be plenty, but because I ended up writing the author name as well, that changed things. And then I've only reread 2 books over 2023, so this page is going to stay the same, and I will continue using it in 2024. Flipping over to the arcs page, I've got 1, 2, 3 more pages, or set up blocks that I can use over 2024, so I'm happy to continue this on. I have gone ahead and added in a little decorative bar to separate what was 2023 and 2024 when I got them. There are a few books here that I will be reading in 2024, but for the sake of when I was approved, I've done the separation. Flipping over to the series tracker again, this was set up with the intention of lasting more than 1 year, so I'm going to continue with it. I've added the 2024 colour down the bottom here, which is this mint green colour, and hopefully we'll see a lot of green on these 2 pages here especially. I really want to attempt to get this set up, these 2 pages, sorry, done and get through these series that I've had on the run for so long now. Some of them I won't be completing, but it'll be really nice to see a lot of green appear on these pages. As you can see, I've finished a lot more on this one here, so it'll be interesting to see how this looks come even the middle of 2024. I'm not going to put a decorative bar to separate when I started reading new series in 2024, simply because this is an ongoing chart. I feel like it makes more sense rather than what I did with the arcs page. We've got 3 more sections as well for series, so I better get on to the ones that I've actually started, not add too many new ones in 2024. The owned TBR is a concept I really want to make work, but I'm really not diligent enough with it, so I'm not sure how we're going to work with this in the next portion of a new year. I do have the intention of attempting to use it. My goal is to scrap all of this because half the books that I got in 2023 aren't on here, and I'd rather just go from the shelf because a lot of them I'm unhauling, and whatever's left on the shelf, rewrite it down here. I know it's a real big waste of paper and time, but I feel like it would just be more beneficial for me to restart this portion again, give it one last shot, and if I cannot get this to work in paper format in 2024, I think I'll just stick to some sort of digital management of it. I really like the idea of having this. I just am, I guess, too lazy to implement it long term. But we have got a few pages, so me restarting it isn't going to be too much of a problem. If you've been following long term, you might have known that there were author pages behind this, like I was tracking what I'd read by each author. I scrapped that a couple of months ago, cut out the pages, and it's a bit bulky now, but essentially I've stuck it to this, so we just flip straight into the stats that I started doing in this journal, and I'm really happy with these ones, so I will be continuing them into 2024. So these setups, oh sorry, we've missed a page, will be redone for 2024, and this is my end of year stats. I accidentally missed a page, so I had to do a tip in, and I've already done my book bracket for the year. So here we are at 2024 in this journal. These pages are just because I either ran out or they are specifically for 2024. So I've gone with this Fantasy Forest paper, and again with the Adventure Awaits theme, and then we've got our DNF page here. I've got a spot here that I could add some more DNF'd books if I have them, trying to keep that to a minimum. And then we've got the blank canvas for the 2024 at a glance. Here we have it with some decorative paper to fill in the gap down the bottom. I can't do that until I know what level of books I'll be reading over these months. So we've got the first page and the second one all ready to go. I will be adding in the first quarter stats probably here, but I want to wait until I set that up just to make sure I know what I want to put here, and also there may be some other things that might have to come in here, but for now this is all that is needed. Everything's sort of set up and ready to go for 2024. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. It's going to be a real interesting experience to use this B5 journal. It's quite big. I'm not sure how I'm going to film it. But I'm really excited for the year ahead and how these two journals are going to complement my reading experience. I really hope that you'll be sticking around to see how the adventure goes, and I cannot wait to share more content with you all in the new year. Until we next meet, I hope you have fun reading or journaling, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone!